The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the November 23rd, otherwise known as the Wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, well, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on in at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't dial in, we've got you covered there, too. You can let those fingers do the walking. Go ahead and send me an email. Send it to Steve at TFNN.com. And inside the subject, and if you'd be kind enough to put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got a bit of a sea of green out there. The only sector inside the S&P trading lower is the energy sector, off $1.42. Light sweet crude is off $3.62. All the other U.S. indices, or U.S. indices, I should say, are trading to the upside. Dow is up 81 points, S&P 23, NASDAQ 100, 129, Russell 7, 47 for the semi, 75 for the trannies. That's about 0.25% for the Dow, 0.5% for the S&P, 1 1/10% for the NASDAQ 100, 0.5% for the Russell, and 1 7/10 for the semis. Gold's up $2, silver's up 26 pennies, natural gas is up 45 cents, the 30-year Treasury up 24 ticks. He's trading at 127.12. Lead the charge dollar-wise to the upside. You got John Deere and Company up $30, up 7%. I do like Deere riding lawnmowers out there, but those were in the old days out there. Mercado Libre, that's up $17, 1 7/10%. HubSpot up $13, 4.5%. Tesla up $11, that's 6%. Domino's Pizza up $11. Buckarooni's nearly 3% to the upside. The shakers this morning, well, that's Autodesk down $11. That's up off 5%. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals down a little over 1% or $10. Vanek Service Oil, of course, that's down. You've got Avis Budget Group is off $5. Hess Corporation down 4. So we've got some movers and shakers. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. Let's begin simply by just getting an overview of the ES Mini out there. We do have a few requests that have come in. And so I want to go ahead and get to those. In fact, would love to spend the day just simply going over requests out there from inside the Tiger's Den, all of you listening inside Tiger TV land or any place else out there. So again, our number is 877-927-6648. But let's switch over. Take a look at the ES Mini chart. The ES Mini right now is trading above a key level of resistance. That is the top of its daily profile. Now, I do not know whether it will hold that level. What is that level? Good question. That specific level, the top of that profile, 40.1950. We're at 40.33. But the day is not over. As we look at the other intraday time period charts out there, that 5-hour chart still has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. In order to negate that signal, you need to see a close above 40.50.75. If we look at a 4-hour time frame chart, it also has a TD9 count. It's got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top is what I should say. Wave number 7 top. And it will complete a TD9 count at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Or at least it appears that it will. Just depends on whether or not price continues to hold these levels, which it likely will. But let's take a look at these other time frames out here. Nothing too much to worry about on the 2-hour chart other than a wave number 7 pattern, but that needs a lower high in order for that to confirm. Potential Rhodes momentum indicator signal on the 60 and the 30-minute chart. Both those are waiting for bearish reversal candles. Don't know whether they will form. 10-minute chart's the only one with a topping signal. And so far, all we've seen since that TD9 count top is a sideways movement. Price above profiles, price above its green oscillator and change line. It is neutral at worst out there. So you got light volume out in the markets out here. Really what's likely powering things is really the NQ. So let's actually put up the NQ charts out here. So I know we got the ES mini up towards resistance, the top of its daily profile. And now is above its profile levels there daily. The Russell is consolidating with inside it, and it's the NQ that may be targeting 11,981. And 11,981 is the top of its profile out there. And if that's going to happen, it's likely going to go ahead and lift the other markets higher. Maybe not the same percentage-wise, but just simply lift those markets higher out there. 11,963 is a resistance level on the 5-hour time frame chart. So you got 11,963, 11,981, which is from the daily time frame chart. No topping signal on the 4-hour, nor on the 2-hour, nor on the 1-hour, nor on the 30-minute chart. The only topping signal is its 10-minute time frame. Both a TD9 count top and a Rhodes momentum indicator top. That pattern on a 10-minute basis would be negated with a close above 11,890.50. So I'd watch 11,890.50. If you get a close above that, that tells you that the rally should continue with the price target of 11,963 to 11,981. So we can come back to these markets out here, but why don't we spend a little time, take a look at the request. The first one coming in from Mr. Bill inside the Tiger's Den. Mr. Bill wants to take a look at the XLY and wants to do that both for a midterm and a long-term standpoint. So we got the charts out here. We got the daily, weekly, and the monthly time frame charts. This is the consumer discretionary sector that we're taking a look at. Let's start from the right-hand side, the monthly chart. TD9 count top has pulled price back below a breakout level out there, below profiles. It's possible, Mr. Bill, that the longer-term monthly chart is telling us that price may want to get down to 121.92. But wait, we've got more. What's that more? There is an A to B equals CD to the downside pattern out here that looks like it did complete. So off that TD9 count top, we go all the way down to the month of February. That's going to be our A to B point. We're going to just simply copy and paste, cut, paste, and assemble. That's what CPAs do out here best. And so now we'll put this to the C point. And yes, so we have a confirmed by the D point on a monthly basis inside of the monthly time frame. So, Mr. Bill, the issue here is that top is the bottom of that monthly profile. That's at 148.79. So you really need to see a close above that to suggest that run to 167.33. That's its monthly oscillator and change line. If we look at the weekly time frame chart, you've got a wave number 7 bottom, you've got a TD9 count bottom, you've got a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. You got some bottoms out there. As long as price can remain above that 140.54 area, price should make a run towards the 155.90. That brings that 148.79 back into play out there. As we look at the daily time frame, you had a wave 7 bottom. You had a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. That confirmed when price gapped up. That's your bearish reversal candle. That was on the trading session November 10th. Price makes a run right up to where the sellers are located. Now, this was a bearish structured daily profile, and that was at 145.82. Was unable to get through that. Pulled price back to its oscillator change line. You've got a good old-fashioned consolidation on the daily time frame. So, Bill, Mr. Bill, it's pretty simple. You get a close above 148.79. That should then lead to higher price out there, and that next higher price would be at least 155.90 to 167.32. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kakestat's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kakestat breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more. And he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. You got the Dow up 94 points, S&P's up 23, NASDAQ 100, 124. We got the charts for McDonald's up on our screen right now. That is for Bob in Spokane. And so, Bob, as I take a look at these charts out here, I see 2 topping patterns that are in play right now, that are in place, actually. So on the daily time frame, it was a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. That was confirmed with this bearish shooting star candle. That was on November the 9th. Then there was a new profile that formed 2 sessions later. Price moved lower, actually closed below that on November 15th. Turns out that may have been a false breakdown out there, because the very next session, price got back inside the profile. So on a daily time frame, here's how I would term it. McDonald's has a top with price consolidating with inside its daily profile. Price needs to close above that shooting star. That shooting star high was 280.25 to suggest that price should be back on its merry way. That's the daily time frame. The weekly time frame has an A to B equals C to D pattern. That completed with a bearish engulfing. So that's a sell the D point pattern out there. So in other words, McDonald's on a weekly basis will not get its mojo until price closes above 281.67. Now, what price should do on a weekly time frame, it should target its oscillator and change line. Now, that can take place by simply price moving sideways and the line rising, some combination out there, but that's what should occur. Now, even though on a weekly basis, you have a confirmed sell the D point pattern, the other thing that you have going for it, Bob, is that price above the top of its weekly profile and its green oscillator and change line. So the conditions here are neutralized. Got a top, but prices above key resistance levels, strong momentum out here, and so it's questionable with regard to that top at this point in time. When we look at the monthly time frame chart, there is no top in place out there. Not a zip, zilch out there. So longer term, McDonald's looks good. Shorter term, on a daily basis, it's uncertain, but all we have is a consolidation going on. That's between 271 and 279 out there. And the weekly chart still needs to close above the that bearish engulfing candle from a couple of weeks back in order to suggest that things are on their merry way. But overall, McDonald's looks pretty good out there. As we pull back and take a look at a 30-minute time frame chart, see if there's any short-term signal, and the answer is there really isn't much of one to be worried about. Price dealing with 274.71. That is its 30-minute TD9 count breakdown level out there. But I don't see that as being really the issue that McDonald's is dealing with. So Bob in Spokane, I hope that helps you out. Thanks so much for the request, and have a happy Thanksgiving. The next request coming in from Duffy inside the Tiger's Den, and Duffy wants to take a look at ticker symbol KEYS, because Duffy, he's got the keys to the city out there. So let's get these charts here to populate, and keys is Keysight Technology. It's trading out right now about 176 and change, 176.63, and it's ran into the top of its daily profile earlier in the day. So the first thing, Duffy, is to realize where the resistance level is on a daily time frame, and that is at 177.73. If price can clear that level, well, then you could have an A to B equals C to the upside. So there's a TD9 count top. That TD9 count top formed on the bar following bar number 9. That was on October the 28th. So the level that price needs to close above, 177.73, that's the top of the profile, top of the TD9 count. And if price does that, then you'll get an A to B equals CD to the upside. Will you get a confirming one? Well, the volume on that B point is 823,000 shares. So far today, only 159,000 shares. You would expect light volume trading, but I would watch to see if price can take out that resistance level, that B point of an A to B equals CD to the upside. If you get that, well, then you're off to the races. Now, where would the races take us to? Good question out there. Let me actually draw in the A to B equals CD pattern. I'll do that on my other. I'm not going to switch panels here because I'll get all screwed up and forget which panel I'm on. I'm just going to give you the one-to-one price projection should you get a close above 170.73. That's 187.38. One of the reasons I wanted to take a look at that is because when we look at the weekly time frame chart for keys, price is above the top of its weekly profile. I don't see a topping pattern, and that suggests that it wants to make a run for 207.22. So what's the price target area? Should price close above 170.73 for the keys to the city? That's the 187 to 207 range out there. Now, in order to get that to come to fruition, what you'd really like to see is you'd like to see the monthly price chart close above its green oscillator and change line. It's trading just above it right now, it being 176.39. We're at 176.55. If you get that, everything looks pretty good, and will look even better and rosier if you get a close above 177.73. So, Duffy, is that the information that you were looking for? I hope so. If not, please let me know, and we'll find a way to pull that up. Next question. Coming in, you're welcome, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Next question coming in by email. This from John Z. Oh boy, John, that is a print that is so small, Stevie's eyes are popping out. Let me see if I can expand this out. There we go. Ticker NTRS. Okay, so let's get NTRS fired up on our screen. If you bring up the longer-term charts, at what price would you buy shares that would be held many? No, I lost that. Okay, be held for many years. What price would you sell long-term positions? And that is John in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's a beautiful place. So NTRS. Let's try to answer these questions. So the first question, if I'm not mistaken, is on a long-term. It was looking at long-term charts, but the question is, where would you buy? This is Northern Trust Corp. So I'd be looking for a bottom pattern on a daily time frame. That's what I would be looking for. Why would Stevie be looking for that? Well, if we take a look at the monthly time frame chart, I'm not sure what the topping pattern was out there. Not that I see one necessarily, but what we do know is price pulled back to its TD9 count breakout level and found support. That was at 78.26. So we've got a bottom signal on the monthly time frame. Weekly time frame formed a TD9 count bottom. That was really the time to add to your longer position sometime around there. There being that TD9 count date on a weekly basis, that was October the 21st, or could have been the following week out there, October the 28th. Right now, price is above the top of its profile. That suggests a run to 174. That's the TD9 count breakdown level out there. And on a daily time frame, you had the Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. That confirmed for you on October 21st. You had a new profile formed the very next day out there, and it was off to its races. Its races being that TD9 count breakdown resistance level, 94.66. So as far as where would you add to a position, I would wait for some type of retracement back to support. Now, it's possible, don't know, but it's possible that price will find support again at 94.66 on a daily time frame. If that occurs and price pulls back, then what you'd be looking for is a support area between 89.42 and 90.55 out there. That would be one way to field it. The other way would be to take would be if price closes above 94.66, Then we've got a big momentum move out there, and I'd be looking maybe for a shorter-term time frame chart here. That's the 30-minute to look for some type of bottom pattern. We don't have that as we speak. We don't even have a topping pattern out there. So there's nothing on the charts here that tell you that now is the time to enter a position. I think you've got to just simply be patient, John, in Milwaukee out there. Just simply know that it should be no surprise for price to get to 94.66 and a close above that. Should be no surprise to get up to the 100.74 level out there. But, so that's what I see when I take a look at the charts. John in Milwaukee, have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that helps you out. And thanks so much for the requests. We come back from this break out there. Looks like we've got, perfect. We've got questions from Brent in Martinez, California. Coinbase, Mara, or GBTC. And we may take a look at all of them. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, Butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Right now, we've got the Dow up 98 points. The S&P's up 22. NASDAQ 113. So let's get to the questions that have come in from Brent. Of course, folks, I'd love to hear from you as well. You can send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. Please put radio show question up in that subject heading. Of course, inside our Tigers Den, any ping will do, and you know how to call us at 877-927-6648. So we've got the charts up here for Coinbase. And Brent's question about Coin, Mara, GBTC is, do we see any signs of a bottom? So I throw that out there to you just in case you're doing what I did when I began technical analysis, which was I used to listen to Tom's show religiously. Sometimes we'd listen to the recording on, back then it was on iTunes, I believe. And somebody would ask a question, I would stop, especially when I was listening to not the live show, but the recorded version. stop and then go assess the charts myself and see if I can come back with the answer to the listener's question out there. And that'd be Brent. So let's try to answer Brent's question out here. Now, I've got the daily, weekly, monthly charts up on our screen out there. And just as we take a look at these right now in a daily time frame, you've got a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. That needs a bullish reversal candle. And you need to close above the red oscillator change line that's currently at about 46.70 to confirm some type of bottom. On the weekly chart, you do have a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. It needs a bullish reversal candle to confirm a bottom. Or does it? Or does it? We're going to take a look at my black background set some charts out there. That was kind of a setup. You can see what I'm looking at, or you should be able to see what I'm looking at, which is what, Stevie? You see a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom that's already been confirmed? Yes, we do. And that was generated on July the 8th. That was a bullish engulfing candle. It's the low of the pattern. The low of that pattern right now is at 44.15. Prices trade at 44.84. Hint, hint, hint. So, Brent, on a weekly basis, all we really have is price testing a previous confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. So it already has a bottom on the weekly. Well, it has a bottom on the weekly. What was it doing on the daily when it was testing that swing point out there? That swing point that I'm referring to takes us back to May 13th. Monthly time frame, just not enough information really, Brent, out here. I don't have any kind of bottom signal there. So let's go do the old kind of analysis, that swing point volume analysis. Let's see if we can figure this out here. So we know we've got a weekly bottom. Let's take a look at, whoops, TV, don't do that. Sorry about that, folks. You didn't see what I did, thankfully. I caught myself before I did what I shouldn't have done, and now I'm doing what I should have done. Whew. That is confusing. So now we've got the black background charts up on our screen. We're taking a look at Coinbase. Let's simply expand out the daily time frame, and voila, we've got a swing point. We've got a swing point on a daily basis for Coinbase. It takes us back to May 12th. That's the time period that we're looking at. May the 12th out there. Volume on that move lower was 58,789,000 shares. Well, that low was 40.83. A couple days ago, November the 21st, price got down to 40.61. Tested and rejected that swing point with lighter volume. Now you've got a new daily profile. So you've got that bottom signal out there. As far as a bottom pattern, a test and rejection of a prior swing point. Price is inside a new bullish structured profile. Didn't show up my white background charts. It's just forming today. If price today closes above 44.09, we're at 44.69. Odds favor, Brent. Now, I don't know whether it's a bottom. It's got the bottom from the weekly. It's got a bottom test on the daily. But we don't know if this is just a counter trend move or not, because price is still below that red oscillator change line on the daily time frame out there. But price should be able to make it up to 51.04. So there may be a trade in that. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame chart here real quickly, see if there's anything of help. And there is. So on the 30-minute time frame, Coinbase forms a TD9 count bottom. It does that at, confirm that pattern at 1:30 in the afternoon. That was back on the 21st, a couple of days ago. What price eventually does is gets up to its TD9 count breakdown there at 45.57. So if price is going to make that move to that new daily profile level, Brent, you're going to need to see it close above 45.57. Right now, it would appear that what price would do in Coinbase is pull back to the 43.25-ish level, maybe 42.13 or $41 even Steven. So how do we summarize that? Yeah, Coinbase has a confirmed weekly bottom that's still in place, remains in place unless price closes below 44.15, and it's got a confirmed test and rejection of a daily swing point out there. So I hope that helps you out. GBTC, let's go ahead and pull that up on our screens out here. Now, GBTC, Muck writes in, it says, warning to Brett, GBTC ETF, part of Genesis. They have FTX risk. That's per Zero Hedge article. All right, thanks for sharing that, Muck. And now we pass that on to Brett. So now we've got the charts here for GBTC up on our screen. So we just simply here, just looking for the daily, weekly, monthly time frame, see if there's any kind of bottom pattern. Turns out that the weekly chart could confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. As long as price closes above, this is on Friday, as long as price closes above 872, you'll have a bullish engulfing candle confirming a weekly Rhodes momentum indicator bottom, and that would signal that price should at least make its way up to the 1104 level. On a daily time frame, You have a Rhodes momentum indicator signal, but no confirmed bullish reversal candle. Price found resistance yesterday at the bottom of its daily profile. That's at 886. We know that if price can close above that and its red oscillator and change line, and Brent, right now, that's basically at 886. If price can close above that, it's back inside its profile, and that would signal a move up to 928 or 971. So that's what I've been looking at for GBTC. On the monthly basis, the month ends next Wednesday, I believe it is, November the 30th. If price closes above $9.13, price will have formed a TD9 count top. It will have pulled back to its TD9 count breakout level of 913. So there's potential, at least from a trading standpoint. I agree with Muck and the potential warnings out there with regard to risk in the FTX area. Don't know how that impacts GBTC or not. Worth investigating out there. But yeah, you could get a weekly bottom and at least suggest more rally ahead. Now on a 30-minute time frame chart, I sure hope I avoid that. Oh my God, Stevie. Wasn't paying attention, and I needed Mr. Bill to hit me with that 2x4. Here are the white background charts that I was referring to. I guess you could see that bullish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame, but you didn't see the Rhodes momentum indicator signals out there. So here's what we were looking at. Now let's take a look at the 30-minute time frame chart, see if this can assist us, just as Coinbase's 30-minute. Oh, look at that. TD9 count breakdown area at 899. That's a level you'd like to see price close above to suggest that GBTC, in fact, wants higher price out there. So let's take a look at that last instrument, and that ticker symbol is MARA, MARA. And again, what we're doing here is we're searching for a bottom, MARA. Thank you, Mr. Bill, for believing me. Marathon Digital Holdings. So when we look at Marathon Digital Holdings, let's let these charts here populate. You've got a TD9 count that is going to confirm today, complete tomorrow. Now, what that should do, Brent, is that should lead to at least a rally up to its oscillator and change line, $7.91. On a weekly time frame, prices pulled back into this bullish hammer candle, but I don't know that that was really a bottom out there. So it's just a test of a swing point prices trading inside it. So we don't have any clear conclusion on the weekly time frame chart. And on the monthly chart, Mara, Marathon Digital Holdings, actually has a TD9 count bottom. But that is being tested as we speak. The volume so far this month is 344 million shares. That's going against 534 million shares. So we do have price pulling back on light volume. Let's wrap up Mara by looking at a 30-minute chart when we come back from this break.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
The Dow's up 77, S&P's up 21, NASDAQ is up 109, Russell's up 4, semis are up 40 points. That's about 1.5% to the upside. We've got the chart, the 30-minute chart for Marathon Digital on our screen out here, and I don't really see a whole lot inside of the 30-minute time frame chart, Brent, to help us out. So of the three that we looked at, which was Marathon, GBTC, and Coinbase, I think Coinbase was the one that had the best bottoming signals out here. But Marathon Digital, on its daily time frame, does have that TD9 count. And once that completes today, wouldn't be surprised over time to see that at least get up towards its oscillator and change line. That's about 791 out there. So I hope that helps you out, Brent. Thanks so much for the request, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. Let's go to our next request out here. This one is from Hector and Patty. They want to take a look at PCTY. So let's get PCTY fired up on our screens. Let's leave it with the white background charts. That'll take just a moment to populate. And let's read Hector's question, which is Happy Wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, my friend. Back at you. Our freshman Stanford Law student, a little proudful bragging, asks us about his stock. Any thoughts on it? Well, let's go take a look at Paylocity Holdings Corp out there, and congratulations to you and your son out there. How about that? A freshman at Stanford Law. Got to be a blast to be out there. So the question is PCT on a weekly basis. What's the oscillator and change line, the support and resistance, please? Thanks, brother, and a million thanks out there. Oh, you're welcome. So PCTY, if we look at the daily type, so you're asking about the weekly. So specifically, the oscillator and change line, which is green, is at 223.31. As far as other support levels on the weekly time frame chart, you're below support. You're below the green oscillator and change line, and you are below the bottom of its weekly bullish structured profile out there. Now, even though I said that, what we also see is it appears that this month could or should complete a buy the D point pattern. And Hector and Patty, I know how much you love those. So let's go draw that pattern in here. Our A to B is what we're going to draw in first. And we can see this was more than a 1-to-1. A to B equals CD to the downside. So I'll just simply move that over to the C point so you can see that. And here is the first bullet. Well, I take that back. There was a bull sash candle that failed. So we did have one buy the D point pattern that failed, but this month may complete the second buy the D point pattern. I guess we'll know on Wednesday. If we look at the, so with regard to resistance now, because price is below support levels out here, Hector, I'll let your son know that 223.28 or thereabouts, that number's going to change. That's that weekly oscillator change line, is a potential resistance level. We can see how prices hit that area, and it has found resistance in the past. Now, if price can get above that, sort of some type of new weekly profile that forms, price should make its way to 243.10. Now, on Paylocity Holdings out there, a counter trend rally. If that's all this is, I don't know that it is, but if it is, where price would find resistance at the center of that weekly profile, and that's at 254.36 out there. So that's the weekly time frame. As long as we've got these charts up on our screen out here, let's look at the daily time frame. The daily must have an A to B equals CD to the downside. Most certainly it does. That has been confirmed. That was confirmed yesterday. It was confirmed with this gap to the upside on November the 10th out there. And what we have right now is just a consolidation with inside that daily profile. Support at 197.06, resistance at the 218 level. If price can clear 218, well, then that gets us back to getting up to that 223 on the weekly time frame out here. And on a monthly time frame, just let your son know that you've got a good old-fashioned consolidation. That's between support and resistance. The safeties are support. They're sitting at 173.86, and the resistance level where sellers are at is at the 228.48 level. So Hector, Patty, and your son in Stanford, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for all the requests that you provide to me. I really appreciate that. Our next request coming in from Mike in Portugal. Mike says, radio show, GBTC, part of Genesis with FTX risk warning. Okay, perfect. You know, you got to love the den. You got to love the people who aren't even in the den that are listening and that have the backs of others, right? That's really what Thanksgiving is all about, isn't it? So Brent will be, I'm sure he's saying thank you to the two denners out there that are just making him aware of the exposure that Genesis has for GBTC. So that's a wonderful thing. So thank you for writing. That's all that Mike wanted to say. Well, Mike, have a happy Thanksgiving. So what are you going to do to celebrate Thanksgiving in Portugal out there? If it's me, I'm having some fish. But you probably do that every single day. So we do have another question. This one, let's see. This was coming in from, looks like might be from Philip. Phillips writes in, thanks for looking at GBTC and Mara. Could you also take a look at Riot? Absolutely. Let's go take a look at Riot out there. Not really the best of R-I-O-T. I just have to learn how to spell. Not really the ticker symbol that I would prefer, but that's just because it takes me back to the riots in Detroit that I lived through. But with regard to Riot blockchain, let's see what we've got going on here. Right now, today, you do have a potential bullish reversal candle. Is that the completion of an A to B equals CD pattern? I don't know. Let's see if we can figure that out by simply pulling this stock chart back. And the answer would be, yeah, possibly. Possibly, Steve-O. That's the best you can do. I'm looking at this longer term one. And let's just draw that in here. I'm just looking at where's the, there we go. So let's draw the A to B point out here. Here's A point out here at the high. B point's going to be this wave number F out there. We look for the highest high after that point, and that's going to be this day from October 4th. I'm just simply going to move that line right to that high. There we go. And no, not exactly a completion of an A to B equals CD. The second one, the smaller one, that is not complete. That one I could see out there. That's an A to B equals CD. Within an A to B equals CD pattern, there's your A to B point. Let's just simply move this over to the C point. I think we will see that this too has not completed. As soon as Stevie can do that out there. There you go. Yeah, that would even take you to lower lows out there. So with regard to Riot, I don't have a bottom pattern out here. What we do have, and it doesn't show on this chart, just like the last chart that we looked at, is a new daily profile that is forming out here, Philip. So your support level, if you were in this, is at 407. Your resistance level is at 485. Now, 407 should be a very strong level of support that price is above right now. Why? Because the center and the bottom are at the same level. I know I'm on the white background charts. You can't see that profile out there. That's because we haven't finished taking a look at the weekly time frame charts and looking at Riot. So the only thing that you've got, Philip, is no bottom pattern on a daily time frame, but you do have a key level of support at 407, and you could see a run up to the 485 range out there. I would say 448. That's at red oscillator change line on the daily time frame. That has been acting as resistance ever since November the 2nd out there, so the entire month of November. Now, on a weekly time frame chart, let's simply pull this back a bit further. And what do we have out here? Well, we have a TD9 count that appears to still be in place. The low of that was 436. No. So if you get a weekly close below 436, it's TD9 count, wave 7 pattern. Well, the wave 7 actually was violated. So you would negate your TD9 count bottom. So watch that low. This is come Friday. That low is 436. You close below that, then what you would need is a new bullish reversal candle to confirm another Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. But that just suggests lower price until that happens. And with these A to B equals CD patterns that are in place out here, right, it looks like it wants to head lower. And where would it head lower to? Well, it's got a TD9 count monthly bottom. And a price close below that level, which is 402, that's going to suggest 76 cents on Riot. And that doesn't look like a whole lot of fun out there. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. A correction out there. It was Patty and Hector's daughter, not son, that is attending law school at Stanford. So my apology for misreading that out there. And congrats to you and her. Let's go to our next question out here. This is coming in from Dan inside the Tiger's Den. Dan wants to take a look at ticker symbol INSW. That is International Seaways Inc. And what Dan was looking for, not a Steve, disregard INSW, not a setup I take here. Maybe sub low LGO instead. Thanks. Seeing. Well, let's just look at this anyways. So let's look at INSW, and it was watching this from a short position. Here's what we know about the daily time frame chart: is a confirmed wave number 7 that was on November the 9th. That's a confirmed Rhodes momentum indicator top out there, and price pulled back and did test support, which was the top of its profile. It did that back on November 11th and then moved higher. The only thing that was holding it back was that momentum oscillator and change line out there. So I don't know if that would have given you the signal probably an intraday chart. We'll go take a look at that. On a weekly time frame, you have a TD9 count top that is in place out there. That is going to complete this month. It confirmed last month. On a monthly time frame, you have a TD9 count top that is going to complete this month. So I see what you're saying. Looks very shortable, absolutely, with regard to those daily, weekly, and monthly signals. So the short-term setup, or the setup to potentially take a short, might be on a 30-minute time frame chart. So let's pull this over. What do we see out here? There we go. So here, this is 2 o'clock yesterday. 2 o'clock yesterday, what got triggered, well, first it was wave number 7. That was confirmed on that very next bar at 14:30. The other thing that took place was there was a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that got triggered. And then right here at the 3 o'clock time frame, you had that big old bearish engulfing candle. So that could have been your signal, Dan, to have taken a short position. Now, don't go short it now, anybody, because you've got a TD9 count bottom on a 30-minute basis that is likely to form out here. I can't believe this is the last segment. Sorry about that, folks. Hey, listen, I would love everybody to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful and thankful for each of you, whether you sent in requests, whether you're just sitting by listening, or whether you're inside our Tiger's Den. Just know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, like I say each and every day. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, folks, and I'll look forward to seeing you on Monday, 11 o'clock sharp. Take care.